Hello and welcome back to Super Kitten Sunday with Johnny Tiger and
Kitten.
Kitten. We didn't get a survival Saturday out yesterday. It was all her fault because she wanted us to have a nap. After I woke up from a nap, we ate dinner and I didn't have the energy to make a video. That's my version of, well, we also cleaned the house and all that stuff.
Right.
So anyway, November 14, 2021. And today is going to be something more special because one thing that I've been thinking about is, and actually Kitten brought this up too. A lot of my students have asked this one time or another. Because in the beginning of us teaching self-defense, we teach a lot of if someone grab you like this, how do you escape? Someone grab your shirt, how do you escape? Someone grab your hair, how do you escape? Someone bear hug you, how do you escape? We do a lot of that. But what happens after you escape? We don't usually get to that until later. Reason being that we don't like to teach people how to be very offensive right off the bat, just in case people mess around at home and injure each other with these offensive capabilities. Uh, but I think Kitten is about ready for to learn that after you escape, how do you return the favor? How do you make sure the person is not going to keep after you, keep chasing you, or pushing you, or grabbing you? Because just escaping is not good enough. They will keep coming back and trying to find new ways of pushing you down or grabbing you or stuff like that. You need to find a way to neutralize the threat before getting help or running away. Now, this is something that is obvious, but it's worth talking about because some people will wonder why my methodology is so violent. As blind people, we don't have the luxury of knowing where there might be help, right? We don't have the luxury of running away. You get a running race between a sighted opponent, a sighted attacker, and a blind victim. Blind victim is going to lose. There's just no other way around it if it's come down to a chase, right? So turning our back and running away got to be one of the stupidest things we can do. And since we don't know if there are people nearby that can help us, calling out for help, while it's very important, you need to know how to yell. You can't always count on that either. Uh, so this is why when I'm teaching someone who's disabled or blind, I teach them a more aggressive approach because sometimes it really will come down to they have to deal with the problem themselves. Uh, Hopefully, it never get to that point, but sometimes it does. Uh, and our only option is fight. Flight is not an option. With that said, let's look at our majorly useful tool that's going to turn Kitten into Super Kitten and turn those of you that have been passive so far, just escaping this, escaping that, into, well, I won't say a machine of death, but definitely avenging angels. Okay? Most people like to start with a groin kick. You go to any self-defense class for women, they like to start with a groin kick because it's simple, and they're assuming most attackers are going to be guys. And but the problem is most guys know to expect that, especially sex offenders. They've been kicked before, many times. They know how this works. As soon as they grab you and you start moving their leg, they cross their leg. You can't get their groin. Right? So, not to mention, sometimes when you kick someone in the groin, uh, it depends on what they're on, how pissed off they are, how high they are. they don't feel it right away. Uh, they'll get really pissed off, but they won't go down. I had people kick me in the groin before in fights, and I remember times that when they dropped me straight down to the floor and I just couldn't do anything. But most of the time, all it did was make me really angry. Uh, I will curl up and throw up like 2 minutes later, but that still give me 2 minutes to mess up whoever kicked me in the groin. Right? So groin kick is good, but you don't want to just rely on that. Today we're going to look at a much more brutal approach, which is elbow. Now we'll have Kitten hold the pad. I'll show you guys what's different from what we're doing today to your generic elbow strike that you see in MMA and Muay Thai. Just hold this, just to give it, just hold it against your chest.
Is
Yeah, yeah,
this long way or
yeah.
across?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, back up one step. There we go. That's good. Okay, so a lot of time when you see competitive elbow, competition elbow, it's like big swing, big body movement, pow, into a person, or jump, pow, into the person. It's great because it has a lot of power. And it's in the competition. It's one on one. Okay, so it's great. It look fancy, look great, and it hit hard. Ultimate finisher. But a lot of time when you're in a self-defense situation, when the person okay starts walking into me, when she's doing that, she's walking slow. But even that, I'm like trying to move out of the way. I don't have time to wind up for this big elbow. And even if I do, by the time I wind up, she might be too close. Okay? I start walking, I start winding up, and yeah, I'm jammed. Like by the time I throw the elbow, she's too close. Okay? So we're going to show you the elbow Krav Maga or self-defense style, which is a very short. You can fire it from this distance, like one chest to chest with her, or chest to chest with her kicking shield. And the mechanic is there's no body, there's no big hip movement, it's just arm. When you throw your elbow, keep your hand in the blade hand, and then rotate your shoulder, swing your elbow back. Just think of your shoulder being mounted on a wheel. Okay, the wheel turns and then come forward and down. That's short. Forward and down, forward and down. Right? This can be really quick and doesn't use a lot of energy, but it can hit really hard. It's just the weight of my arm and the momentum. And if I need to do it fast, huh? Huh? Even with the pad, it's hard to balance, right? So
Yeah.
it kind of has a bit of a pushback ability. Okay? So this is what we're going to get Kitten to do. I'm going to hold the pad. Kitten going to put her fingertip on the pad so she knows where it is. And then when she's ready, she's going to do her elbow.
With my blade hand.
Remember that wheel on your shoulder. Just like a train. Just like a train. There you go. Let your arm swing free. Swing free. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, uh, we're going to, as soon as your fingertip, keep your fingertip this way, and I'm going to walk in until I touch your fingertip. As soon as you feel it on your fingertip, hit with the elbow. Ready?
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Again, sensitivity training. There we go. Alright, again. Yeah, she got 3 really quick elbow in there. Right? Now we're going to add even more. This time, rather than having your finger, because sometimes you can't just have your arm hanging out there. Okay, that's not realistic. So we're going to have Kitten just throwing little kitten punches. Uh, these, I like to think of it as Johnny Tai special, as I never heard of anyone else talk about these. Uh, these are what I call tracer punches. What are tracer punches? They're designed to give you feedback for locations where your opponent is, but then you're, you don't really hurt with them. They're lighter than jab. Okay, you're basically just making a fist and just yeah.
To locate.
That,
Locate.
it's a little location tool.
Okay.
I call them tracer punches because they will let you feel where your opponent is
Okay.
without having to commit a lot of balance or energy. See? So start throwing little tracer punches, and as soon as you feel the pad, elbow it.
Oh, okay.
See?
Hey.
There we go. There we go. Now just elbow after 2 punches. There we go. There we go. Now just 1 punch, 1 elbow.
Oh. Well,
1 punch, 1 elbow. There you go. Okay, good. Okay, now give the pad back to the kitten. Gradually, when you get good with these short range elbows, well, you can look forward to as something as quick and vicious as one of the combos that I do a lot in sparring. It's just a simple 1-2 and an elbow, but look at how quick it is. Right? All 3 are hard hit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 elbow. 1, 2 elbow. Right? That is how quick you can come out when you get good with this. Now, let's look at self-defense application for this simple little elbow technique. Let's say I try to grab Kitten at this distance and try to manhandle her. Then all she has to do is get one hand on some part of my body so she knows where I am. And from here, I'm thinking I got the advantage. Actually, use this for elbow so they can see. Okay? So she get my lapel or somewhere. I still think, that's okay. I can outmuscle her. Look how fast that elbow will come out. Yeah, right there, right in the pec, right in the chest. Huh? Okay, let's look at from down here, she can get my short rib. From up here, she can get my chest. From up here, she can get my face. Right? Even if I try to block by putting my hand in the way, okay, start elbowing. There's no way I'm going to be able to block all of it. Not to mention if I meet it with my arm might get broken. See? This is head on. Now, last week we looked at if when you push, let a person get past you, you get behind them, underhook. Actually, let's underhook with this side so they can see. Let's say she could get behind me and she hooked me from under the arm behind this little control we talked about before. Let's say she wants to get nasty about it, or if I'm resisting a lot, look at the range of her elbow. There, on the shoulder, she can get the back of my neck, she can get the back of my head, she can get the bottom of my spine. Huh? Like before I even get a way to turn around, she can hit me in a lot of vital parts, 6 or 7 times, with those short, little vicious elbows. Even if she only get beside me, let's say I attack her and we are pushing around and she get to my left side. All she has to do is get a hold of my hand or my sleeve. Now she know where this is. She push my arm out of the way by lifting this up. And let's say I resist. Okay, she can elbow me right in the elbow joints or upper arm. Yeah, that will break my arm. Or if this go up, then my whole rib section is now open. She can do those short little rib, stomach, elbows, elbow shots, even in the kidney. Uh, even in the kidney. Uh. Now, in the worst scenario, Kitten is in a compromising position, so she's down on her knee. Okay? One of the worst position to fight from because you don't have any leg movement. And I am being an attacker. Now I'm very confident. She's on her knee. I'm going to come and try to get her down on the ground. All she has to do is get a hold of my belt or pants to know where I am, and then before I even know what's going to happen, this elbow, stomach, hip, groin, thigh, inside of the thigh, and kneecap, right on the kneecap. Right? One hit from that elbow on the kneecap will end the situation. Right? So this is almost like a Swiss Army knife in close quarter. Honestly, I don't elbow very much in sparring because it's just nasty, just hurts, can injure someone really bad.
Mhm.
So, it's kind of unnecessary in sparring or matches. These are techniques that I reserve for more life and death situation. Life and death situation. Uh, let's say, okay. Uh, Let me grab a training knife. We talked about this cross guard blocking, cross blocking. Someone stab in and she snap her arm down to block. Okay. Well, let's say she somehow get a hold of my knife hand, right? And we're struggling, we're struggling. If she can keep this out to the side long enough, all she had to do is move in close to me, elbow right in the throat, or elbow right in the shoulder joint. That will make me drop the knife right there. Right? So these little elbows, they look very short. They look kind of abrupt, not as powerful as the big overhead elbows. But well, let's see. What does Kitten think?
I think they're massively effective.
Were
Yeah.
you were you able to like put power into them?
Yes,
And,
and it didn't take a lot of energy from me.
and it doesn't throw her off balance.
Right.
No, that's it, folks. Do not hit each other hard with these things. I'm not even joking. Like it, this doesn't look like much from where I'm throwing it, but does it hurt?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like 5%. Okay, so don't go crazy on each other with these. Elbow, very sharp, very dangerous.
Very much.
Yeah. Uh, oh, before we go, I want to mention a quick warning. There's one part of the human body you do not want to hit with your elbow. I mean, obviously that part like back of the neck and the spine, all those things you shouldn't hit. But I'm talking about for your own good. The only part of the human body that you don't want to hit with your elbow is the other person's elbow. Yeah. Elbow to elbow, really ouchy, really, really bad. Okay? And most of the time you will lose. Uh,
Sensation.
yeah. and you'll even lose the sensation and use of that arm.
Oh,
Right?
oh boy.
Yeah. So you need to know where the other person's arms are. Don't hit their elbow with your elbow. Actually, one of the little defense we do in Krav Maga when someone tries to elbow us is we just drop our elbow down on theirs to meet theirs. Right? So be careful with that. When you practice your elbow, please get one of these kick shield.
Yes.
Uh, very thick. It's not a pillow. A pillow is not safe. Don't use a pillow. Okay. And have fun. We'll be back tomorrow with some more peaceful stuff with Music Monday with Johnny Tiger and
Kitten.
heavy metal. Kitten.
Wow, wow, wow.
Have a good night.
Good night.